Hello and welcome to another episode of the Obstacle Race Magazine podcast. I'm here with Kevin Newey this week again. Hello, Mr. Newey.
Good evening, Mr. Wibberley.
So, usual question, Kev.
28.
What? No.
29.
You're
liar.
20. No, we're not. We're at 29, I swear. 29. You've tripped yourself up again.
Oh, not again.
I promise, 29. So, we had a bit of a break last week. My fault. Feeling a bit flat. Weren't really into it. I'll not lie. Flat.
Yeah.
So I do apologise to the listeners who missed out on us last week. I'll not do it again, I promise. So 10-minute Tuesday. Let's see what we can do, Kev. So news this week. We'll start off with the rubbishy news, and then we'll crack on with some nice news, and then so we can finish it off on a high. So there's been a big news story released this weekend, by the Mirror. Obviously not the most reliable of sources, so everything's alleged. But most of you know, Tony Campbell, who was a coach in the UK and coached a lot of the elites and what have you, there were a lot of sort of negative behaviour and
lots
horrible
of rumours.
things. Yeah,
lots of rumours
yeah.
going on. He also ran the Bigfoot Challenge OCR event. I think he had, I don't know how many events did he put on, 3 or 4 maybe. You know, obviously he was at Mud 7 for 2 or 3 of our, I think 2014 or 15, 16 and 17. I think he was there as well.
Yeah, and for probably 2 years maybe now, it's basically everyone distanced himself from him because the alleged things that had happened at the time were things that you don't want to be associated with, and no human being should sort of really act in that way, allegedly. So now Tony Campbell, Tony Ray, or as is actually meant to be known, Tony Stevens, looks like he's getting extradited to the US for alleged sexual crimes against a 12-year-old. So, not so nice news. So anyone who does anyone who may have been affected by anything that possibly Tony's done in past, and until now you've maybe not stepped forward and spoken to anyone about it, now's probably a good time to step forward and let the proper authorities know, just so that they've got the whole picture of what sort of person he is. He's already got some pretty nasty charges against his name within the UK anyway, but even more so.
Yes, some people might not want to come forward because he was a sort of larger than life sort of character in the OCR industry and had a lot of followers, a lot of friends who had sort of been hoodwinked by him. So yeah, we would urge anybody who has been affected, they should come forward. They might not come forward before because they didn't think they'd be believed, but it's no reason now. Please come forward. And
yeah,
I think that can do for that.
Yeah.
Let's go to more positive news.
Exactly. So that gets that out of the way. So Tough Mudder, obviously they've been quite quiet because we don't really, like anyone else, they didn't really know where they stood in terms of events and what have you. They've obviously had to cancel 1 or 2 now anyway, but they've just sent out a press release for a new set of challenges that they've got coming up called basically Tough Mudder Challenges. And yeah, exactly. A lot of marketing went into that little piece there, but it is due to be launched. It was launched on the 25th of June, and we're on the 29th today. So you can sign up from that point. And it looks like they kick off. So the actual challenges themselves kick off from the 9th of July. So you can register for those. The best way to go is just to go over to the Tough Mudder UK website and have a look exactly what they entail. But there's things like they want to scale the height of Everest and other different bits and pieces through the course of the month. because it's pretty sad really for Tough Mudder, because although it's a bit of a Marmite brand, people love them or hate them, because some people hate them because they don't like that it's not really had a competitive element, or it's been up and down as a competitive element to it. But love them or hate them, Marmite or not, it would have been their 10th year this year. So what a rubbishy year to be celebrating your 10th birthday of your brand, to be pretty much having to sweep everything aside and pretty much start afresh for 2021, really.
Well, same as where I work, though. It's our 50th anniversary this year, and it was last month. So while I'm working from home and shielding, Shire Foods turned 50, so they had all the
cakes and sort of sausage rolls and stuff.
Yeah, but without me.
So that's what you're more gutted about, isn't it?
And I was forgotten.
Oh, poor Kevin. But so over the 10 years, they've had 6 million participants.
That's amazing, isn't it? And plus, what we forget is they do the marketing for pretty much every event in the UK. All these smaller independents, Tough Mudder are really one of your marketing tools. They're out there showing what obstacle racing is all about. They're usually the entry for people to come into it before other people come and find you afterwards. So
yeah, they feed.
We all need these big events.
Yeah, they certainly feed the community, and the prices, like ticket prices, were a bugbear for people at one stage, but their prices have come right down.
Get a season pass.
Yeah, and I think Tough Mudder were the only brand that I've ever seen that, you know, when you think to yourself, wow, they're big, because I went on the...
Every time I go to the toilet.
Well, I hate going to the London Underground, and we're not gonna talk about what you've just said there, Kevin. But London Underground, and you know, you get the posters across the platform from you.
Yeah.
Big, massive, Tough Mudder poster down under there, and I just thought they must be sticking some right money in to be able to afford those sort of things. But yeah, it's 20 countries. So they've I suppose they've got a similar level of success.
How many countries
Spartan.
are Spartan in? There must be more. Surely.
I can't remember how many it was from last time.
Is it England, Scotland, Wales? Do they count as 3?
Maybe, possibly. But yeah, so the challenges are basically just to give people a digital taste of what Tough Mudder's all about, and them to be able to take tasks on, but they're meant to be for everybody. So I don't know exactly what they'll entail, but it's definitely spiked my interest, and hopefully a lot of people take part in it. They're running all the way through to December as well. So something to keep you busy all the way from July to December. But yeah, so that kicks off on the 9th of July. And it's open for registration now. Kev, next, you've got a piece of news, haven't you?
Spartan Race.
Got for us?
Yeah.
Spartan Race. What have you got for us?
August, the month of endurance. So the Hurricane Heats are coming back, and Spartan have announced dates and venues. So if you're not sure what Hurricane Heats are, it's not like a typical Spartan race. These are more team-based adventure challenges, endurance ones, which could be over 4, 12 or 24 hours. So it's all about working as a team. Obviously, with the current social distancing and different measures that are in place, tickets are very limited. But if you want to go along, they are at Marston Lodge in Leicestershire on the 8th and 9th of August. The next event is on the 22nd and 23rd, again at Marston Lodge. And then the 29th and 30th, they're at Pippinford Park. So if you're really twiddling your thumbs and you want to get stuck into a challenge, it's only sort of 5-6 weeks away now. Get signed up, spartanrace.uk, Hurricane Heat, your first challenge of the year.
I think they're a good challenge for anyone to have a go at. Do you know where the Hurricane Heats came from, Kev?
The US.
Yeah, but where? Where did they come from? Bit of trivia.
Texas?
No, not as in the location of where they came from. Where did the idea of the Hurricane Heats come from? Where were they born from?
Yeah,
but why? What's the backstory, do you think?
Because he likes testing people's mental and physical.
No. So it does, you're right.
So trying to make it look stupid.
No. So basically they had a race weekend planned, And the race weekend, they'd done the complete setup and everything, the course were ready to go, and then they had a hurricane blow through and absolutely wreck and ravage the course. And because racers wanted to race that much, they had loads of people volunteer to help clear the course. So they had to clear trees off the course, they had to put tape up. So all these volunteers worked through the night to be able to put together a course for racers to be able to race on the next day. And that's where... So it's like sparked something in Joe. He wanted to commemorate that happening, the community coming together and doing that, and that's where the hurricane heats came from.
Knowledge.
I know. It's
Knowledge.
Power. Knowledge is power.
So we could launch like the light breeze and drizzle heat, couldn't we, over here?
We could. It'd be amazing. I'm sure we'd get loads of people.
Yeah, the name sells it.
Cracking on and getting in. So I suppose, even though we said no negative news, there is a tiny bit of negative news to add to the collection, unfortunately, and that's that old Boris hasn't opened gyms up yet, has he? And which is
outdoor
upset.
gyms and boot camps are open.
Yeah, but only for 6 people.
It's going to get pressured.
Well, the thing is crumbled under the pressure of opening certain things back up, and I think the reason the health and fitness industry is annoyed because they've put the hospitality and catering industry before health and fitness, which kind of because of their mindset, that's the wrong way round. Health and fitness, the UK especially, is in a bit of a health and fitness critical time or whatever at moment, aren't we? The obesity levels are going up and blah de blah, and then the government's priority is to crack open.
I think it's just a way up, isn't
pubs.
it? How many?
It's what's feeding the most into government and taxes, isn't it? Exactly. Yeah.
But with outdoor boot camp, anybody can visit a park. If you're doing an outside boot camp session, you got 6 people signed up. There's nothing stopping other people tagging along, is there?
True, but
and watching and taking part, even if they are or not members. I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying this was what could happen.
It's a fine line to be treading, though, isn't it? But Nuclear have been able to make it work with the wild forest, haven't they? So it can be done. It's just obviously you've got to put a hell of a lot of things in place, and chuck a bit of money at it to be able to put procedures in place and sanitising and all that sort of stuff to even make it safe to do in first place. So anyway, on to more challenges. Rocket Race, they have the Mission X challenge coming up. Now I had this noted down.
Launches today if you're listening on Tuesday.
Yeah, true, actually it does, yeah.
The 30th of June.
So launches 30th of June and runs through until July the 13th. But I don't think I think you sign up, but I don't think you get any information until you've actually signed up, so I couldn't see any information. So the best way to get more information would be to join their Facebook, go onto the Rocket Race Facebook page and invite yourself to the event on the event listing and get the details from there. Because I'll be honest, I couldn't find the details of what it were all about. I'm guessing it's like a little secret mission. You're going to get challenges to do each day or what have you. So we'll have to wait and see. But their medals have been cracking because they've been doing like a couple of 2 or 3 challenges, haven't they? Different bits and pieces to keep people ticking over, which is just another way of adapting to current climate, isn't it? To be able to keep revenue ticking, flowing through and what have you. It's a good idea. We like it. We wanted to do one, but unfortunately, the person who we get to design our medals, it's like trying to shove water uphill, unfortunately, isn't it, at the moment? So if you're listening,
he doesn't listen.
Mr. Swift,
we tell him to listen.
Crack on.
He's too busy.
And get that medal designed for us. So, I think that's all we've really got.
Yeah,
this week,
on the Mud 7 front, we've had a lot of people asking us to give them an update on who's at Mud 7 this year, which are the 7 events. So if you go onto the Facebook page, we announced one last night, and we're going to do one every sort of day this week, just to keep you updated with if you've missed who's attending this year. So the date's been moved back to 26th of September. So we're getting more positive vibes all the time that the event's going to go ahead. So we're sort of 3 months away. Might not be the same event that we've had in previous years, but we're going to do our darndest to put something on for you and make sure Mud 7 takes place in 2020 as one of your first events.
Yeah, lots of things are getting squirreled away at in background to ensure that it's going to be a safe and still enjoyable experience for everyone as well. But if you go to mud7.com, you can get yourself signed up. It could even be, I'm going to say the first race of the year for a lot of people, but it could potentially be, because there were only a couple that really took place, weren't they, at the beginning of the year before we got locked down. So
yeah, it all depends on sort of Wolfer and Nuclear. I think they're on a couple of weeks before, or the week before, maybe.
Yeah,
I'm not sure. It's 1 or 2 weeks before anyway, but they're in September before we are. So fingers crossed. I mean, if you look at again the self-distancing measures now, it's been reduced to 1 metre, unless you're in Leicester, and we can work with that. We can make it safe for everybody as well. So there's free spaces and tickets available. Go to mud7.com. We're also after volunteers. So if you don't want to run, but you want to come and give us a hand, we're going to need more volunteers this year. So if you email Caroline at obstacleracemagazine.com, and she's compiling a list of people who can come along and help. And again, to make sure we can put the event on to help raise as much as we can for charities and to give everybody a fun day out for a change in 2020.
Yeah, get out of the house. Exactly. We all need it at the moment, I think. But yeah, I think that's it then, Kevin.
Yeah, we have got some
else?
good guests coming up very soon. So bear with us.
We're
still trying to put a podcast out every week. Sometimes it's not always possible. We haven't got enough to say, but we're going to try and do one every week, especially with a countdown to Mud 7 as well. And so if you've gone to the Facebook page, you see who the members are. The one we've announced last night is Zeus Races. So they were last there in 2016. So Gavin's coming along, and he's got some great plans for the event this year. If you go onto the Zeus Race Facebook page, they're doing some virtual events as well. So they're trying to raise money for cancer research and other charities through the events. They're not making a penny at all themselves. And if you want your decking doing, get in touch with Gavin. You can do a cracking price and a cracking job. Done.
Keep him busy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so if listener mail wise, we did have a couple of listener mails, but they've kind of been outdated by us not doing one last week. They've sort of been... Yeah, they'd be no good for this week. So if you have got one, send one over by email to Carl at Obstacle Race Magazine, or you can send it as an audio message, if you like, to that same email address. Or quite happy to get one on WhatsApp or iMessenger from you as well to my phone number. So that's 07808 852 033. We really enjoy the audio ones, by the way. They do give us something to sort of sink our teeth into. So yeah, so if you're listening to us on YouTube, thank you very much. Give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. If whatever directory you are listening to the podcast on, if you can, give us a review. If not, don't forget to share it with your friends and click the subscribe button either way. Yeah, so thank you very much, Kevin.
Thank you,
very much. Thank you very much, everyone, for listening in. It's been a pleasure as always, and we'll speak to you next week.
When it's episode 30.
You'll not remember it's 30 anyway.
Definitely, it's a nice round number.
Cheers, Kev.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.